contact with relevant countries. Honorable Prime Minister has personally spoken to the President of UAE, the Amir of Qatar, the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, the Crown Prince of Kuwait, the King of Bahrain, the Sultan of Oman, the King of Jordan, and the Prime Minister of Israel. In each case, we received assurances that the well-being of the Indian community will be the priority for the host government. I have similarly been in close touch with my counterparts in these countries. Insofar as the United States is concerned, we have maintained regular contacts through diplomatic channels. While attempts have been made, contacts with Iran at the leadership level are obviously difficult at this time. I have, however, spoken to Foreign Minister Araqchi on 28th of February and the 5th of March. We will continue this high-level conversations in the coming days. Chairman, sir, the Gulf is also a major trade partner, accounting for US dollars.
आप लोगों से आग्रह है कि जो सवाल आप उठा रहे हैं उसी सवाल का जवाब सरकार की तरफ से विदेश मंत्री जी दे रहे हैं। अगर आपकी चिंता है कि भारत के लोग गल्फ में हैं, भारत के लोग ईरान में हैं, मिडिल ईस्ट में हैं, तो क्या कार्रवाई सरकार कर रही, आप क्या परिचय दे रहे हैं? अगर सरकार की तरफ से आपके उस चिंता का स्टेटमेंट आ रहा है, आपके इशूज पे स्टेटमेंट आ रहा है, तो मैं आग्रह करूंगा कि आप लोग सदन को कृपया सुचारू रूप से चलने दें। आप सुनिए, माननीय विदेश मंत्री जी जो आप सवाल को उठाना चाहते हैं उसका जवाब दे रहे हैं, स्टेटमेंट दे रहे हैं। आप सुनना नहीं चाहते, पहले से प्ले कार्ड लेके आए हैं। ये प्ले कार्ड लेके क्यों आए? कई बार अध्यक्ष जी ने कहा प्ले कार्ड लेकर के सदन में नहीं आया जा सकता, फिर भी आप तैयारी के साथ कि सदन को नहीं चलने देना। माननीय विदेश मंत्री।
Chairman, sir, the Gulf is also a major trade partner, accounting for US dollars 200 billion almost annually of trade. The House is also aware that in the last decade there have been significant investments from the region into the Indian economy. Therefore, the serious supply chain disruptions and climate of instability that we perceive are indeed serious issues. Furthermore, these include attacks on merchant shipping, where Indian nationals often constitute a large proportion of the crews. We have sadly already lost 2 Indian mariners and 1 remains missing in such incidents. I know, sir, that the House joins me in condoling the deaths. Honorable Chairman, sir, Government has been assessing the situation in West Asia continuously since the 12-day war in June 2025. We noted the indications of growing tension and cautioned the Indian community in Iran accordingly. On 5 January, Indian nationals were advised by the Ministry of External Affairs to avoid non-essential travel to Iran. Those already resident there were urged to register with the embassy, exercise due caution, and monitor embassy website and social media handles. A second advisory was issued on 14 January, reiterating the advice to avoid travel in even stronger. The Directorate General of Shipping Mumbai, in parallel, issued its own advisory on 14 January for Indian seafarers, asking them to follow embassy advisories and avoid unnecessary movement of ships. Recruitment and shipping companies were asked not to deploy or send Indian seafarers to Iran. Chairman, sir, reflecting our assessment of the evolving situation, the Indian Embassy in Tehran issued an advisory on 14 February urging Indian nationals, including students, pilgrims, business persons and tourists, to leave Iran by all available means of transport, including commercial flights. They were asked to contact the embassy for any assistance and provided with 24/7 helplines. This was again reiterated in very strong terms through another advisory on 23 February. Some heeded these advisories and have left the country. However, many others have disregarded them and remain in Iran. We are also in touch with fishermen who operate out of Iraq. This, sir, was the situation till 28 February 2026. Honorable Chairman, sir, once the conflict commenced, the Indian Embassy has facilitated the relocation of several Indian students in Tehran to places outside Tehran. An advisory update with emergency contact helplines was issued on 3 March. Similarly, facilitation was extended to pilgrims who were there in Iran for their internal movement. Indian nationals who were in Iran for business purposes were assisted to cross over to Armenia and to return home. The embassy in Tehran remains fully operational, I should say, in fact, on the highest alert. They are totally committed to supporting the Indian community in this difficult situation and in assisting Indian nationals who may wish to cross international borders.